Hi guys, in this video we're going to continue the series of lab quests in PSO and we're going to find out a little bit more about the story of episode 2. Hi everyone, welcome back to another video for Phantasy Star Online Blueburst. In today's video we're just going to continue the series of the lore playthrough for episode 2. So in the last episode we started in episode 2 and we did our first Hunter's test in the VR Temple Simulator. So what we're going to do is we're going to move straight on to the next one, which should be another temple run, but we might find out a little bit more about what's going on. So thank you for coming again, Hunter Taker. I'd like you to take the second test that we've prepared for you. My assistant will give you all the details. I look forward to seeing some good results. Just quickly point something out. You probably noticed compared to the last episode that the font looks quite different. That's because Affinity has just rolled out a new high-res font system for the game, so the fonts do look a little bit different now. Hopefully, if anything, it might be a little bit clearer to read. I shall explain the details of the next examination. The test takes place in VR Temple Beta, so in the last episode we went to Temple Alpha. Following your operator's directions, battle the hostile creatures within and eliminate them as you head for the goal to clear the VR field. It's basically the same as the first test field. Be careful out there. So yeah, not a lot to go on really. It's very much the same kind of thing as what we did last time. I did say this in the previous episode, but I feel that the lab quests are probably the best way of covering episode 2's story, just because particularly for the earlier areas, it doesn't really explain a whole lot outside of the lab quests. So we'll go to Temple Beta, and as usual we've got these little pods again that we can get information from our operator, who is Ellie. VR Field Temple Area Beta Setup complete. Take it, you ready for the next area? Okay. Be careful and good luck. So yeah, again, nothing really to go on. I should note you can actually re-interact with these again as well. And what it'll do when you go back to them again is it'll actually give you information about the enemies. So far it'll only cover the ones that we've seen, I believe. Although actually we haven't seen any Belrus yet, so maybe it does have all of them. So for example, you can select an enemy and it will tell you a bit about them. So what I'll do is I'll actually cover these because it might give you a little bit more information about some of the enemies in the game as well. So for Ragrappis, Ragrappi, native creature, lives on the surface of Ragol. Timid but aggressive when defending its territory. Something's been cut off. This is weird. Don't assume you've killed them when they fall. They have a tendency to play dead when they're hurt. Then we've got Dimension. Dimension, decellular sub-life form. It seems that we haven't yet uncovered everything about this creature. Several variants of this life form exist. Primitive behaviour, but intelligence level is still undetermined. They tend to attack in packs, don't let them surround you. That's all it says. So these are basically, in episode 1 there were capsules left by Rico. And some of those capsules, I didn't cover them in the episode 1 playthrough, but some of the capsules just give you information on how to defeat different enemies. This is kind of the same for episode 2. We'll just give you a little bit of kind of background information about them as well. So we've got Mothman and Monest. Mothmans live in a nest called a Monest. Mothmans and Monest both are native to Ragol. When Mothmans are killed, more will appear from the Monest. It seems like it's a good idea to destroy the Monest first. Poison Lily. Let's see, Poison Lily. Poison Lily, altered beast, a mutated form of SEGA. Now, the keen-eyed among you there may have noticed at the end of that, they slipped SEGA in. I don't know if that's a deliberate thing, I'm assuming it probably is. It wouldn't surprise me if the rest of the names are referenced as well, but I haven't figured it out yet. Let's see. It's similar to a species native to Ragol, but it shows signs of DNA alteration, which puts it in a different class. Source of DNA alteration has not yet been determined. Lilies generate deadly toxins. I think we better be real careful here. We'll need something to cure ourselves if we encounter one. I know, we should get some antidotes just in case. If we have some, we should be worry-free. Interesting thing about that is that it says that the source of the DNA alteration is undetermined. Now we know from the episode 1 playthrough that Dorole was responsible for mutating a lot of the enemies in caves, which is where the lilies are in Ragol. So again, this kind of suggests that the weird sort of discrepancies with the timeline here. So here we're saying that we don't really know what the source of the DNA alteration is, but we do know in episode 1, we do know that Dorole did it. So this again to me would suggest that this maybe takes place before some of episode 1 possibly. Again, it's very hard to sort of piece together the time frames for this. Then we've got Grass Assassin. Okay, next, Grass Assassin. Grass Assassin, Altered Beast, a mutated form of Locusti religious SEGA. Okay, the SEGA thing is definitely deliberate. Let's see. It's similar to a species native to Ragol, but it shows signs of DNA alteration, which puts it in a different class. So this is all the same as the lily. It sprays an adhesive thread-like filament to trap its prey. When in danger, it has a tendency to charge forward towards its enemy. That's an animal with no sense of fear. It'll be a challenge to defeat one. Oh, someone just hit level 200. Congratulations. Oh, there's more. Take advantage of its poor eyesight in order to defeat it. That's it. And then Hildebeer. Let's see, Hildebeer. Hildebeer, native creature, lives on the surface of Ragol. A very ferocious mammal with immense upper body strength. Dangerous to attack straight on. Hildebeer offspring have been found on the surface of Ragol. Now we know this because in one of the side story quests in episode 1, there is a quest where you actually run into a baby Hildebeer. So then this indicates that this maybe takes place at about the same time as that or just after. So again, it's very, very hard to sort of pin down exactly where this is, exactly when this takes place. Compared to the adults, they're generally not considered aggressive. As with many other native life forms, there are many unknown factors. For example, we still cannot determine why they're so aggressive now. So again, this does indicate that this does take place before the events of some of episode 1, because we know why the animals turned aggressive in episode 1, having done it. And then finally, we've got Dark Belra. Let's see, Dark Belra. Dark Belra, decellular sublife form. It seems we haven't yet uncovered everything about this creature. It's very slow moving, but its arms allow it to strike most creatures at long range. That's all it says. Guess you better not drop your guard. You won't be safe just because you're far away from one. So yeah, I just wanted to show it out because it does give you a little bit extra information. There is also a little bit of information about the actual field as well, which I'm not going to go through all of them, but this is essentially the same things that Rico would tell you in episode 1. So like things about gates being locked, how to spot traps and so on. So it keeps those parts separate away from the lore for the most part. I did want to cover the enemies though, just because I feel that some of the enemies and entrants do actually give a little bit of information as well. So as usual, we are just doing this in normal, just so we can blast through it, just so I can get to any relevant lore pieces easier. Okay, so we've got another message here from Ellie. SEGA, this is the lab. Hi, it's Ellie again. How are you doing? It's starting to get a little tough, isn't it? If things get too dangerous, you can just exit the VR field. This is just between you and me, okay? What matters in the Hunter's exam is how many areas you've cleared. So you can keep trying as many times as you want. SEGA, if you pass the Hunter's exam, then... Phew. They didn't catch me this time. Anyway, good luck. So Ellie's obviously wanting to try and tell us something, but she's being monitored by the lab because she's acting as our operator and she's getting directly monitored by the lab. So although she wants to tell us everything about what will happen with this Hunter's exam, she's finding it quite difficult because she's being monitored. So she feels like she can only tell us so much. So weirdly, when you do this quest, you get a message when you come in here that says all enemies eradicated, even though it clearly haven't. I think it's a bit of a typo in the game. I think it's meant to say eradicate all enemies, but instead of that it says all enemies eradicated, which I've always found quite funny. So, the same as the last quest really, this ends with a room where you've got quite a lot of enemies to kill. This is very, very similar to the first test, honestly. Again, from a lore perspective, there isn't a whole lot to go on at this point because we are just doing a VR simulation. The episode 2 story really, the first part of it is heavily based around this VR test that you're doing. Once you get past this, the lore does open up quite a lot and you do learn a lot more. So if you are struggling to get through episode 2 from a lore perspective, just try and stick with it because it does improve a lot. Essentially think of the VR tests as they're trying to test your hunter to make sure that you're capable of doing the task that they want of you. So once again at the end we've got another terminal. Transmitting test record. Enemies eradicated, areas secured, both confirmed. Hello there, Taker. This is the lab. Ellie speaking. I've confirmed your exam results, Taker. You've cleared the second test mission too. We'll be disconnecting the VR link temporarily, so please head back now. So we'll head back and we'll go and report to Natasha again. Aha. Your test results are in. I see no particular problems with them. Seems you've got the basics down. You've passed, but now we'd like you to take the next test as well. Take what time you need in order to get ready. I'll be waiting. Test is complete. Looks like there's some hope for you. I like that. Looks like there's some hope for you. Please go at the counter and sign up for the next test. Thank you very much. So what we'll do is, because that was a very, very short one, we'll do the next test as well. Welcome back, Hunter Taker. I know it's sudden, but I'd like to get around to conducting the next test. My assistant should have all the details. I hope that you do well. I shall explain the details of the next examination. The test takes place in VR Temple Alpha and VR Temple Beta. It's a test to see how capable your fighting skills are. Following your operator's directions, battle the hostile creatures within, and eliminate them as you head for the goal to clear the VR field. The number of virtual enemies in this VR field is considerably higher than what we've given you before. That is all. Well, you can always return to the lab in mid-test, so if you run into any problems, just know that you've got a way out. Please be very careful. So this seems to be a bit more of an in-depth test. And as I said, this covers Alpha and Beta. Hello Taker, this is the lab. Ellie speaking. The current test is designed to simulate dangerous situations. Many hostile creatures will attempt to attack you in a confined space. Defeat them all and try to make your way to the interior. Good luck. So, another capsule from Ellie. Hello Taker, this is the lab. Ellie speaking. I think you might know this already, but if you keep the enemy's particular weak points in mind as you fight, you can use that to your advantage and improve your performance. And if you think you're in trouble, just come back to the... Right, sorry about that. I don't mean to be a nag, I'll keep my chatter to a minimum, I promise. I know you can handle it, Taker. Tomorrow's just like a prep talk from Ellie there, but again, there's this sort of slight inference that the lab are monitoring everything she's doing. So with this quest, we're now in Temple Beta. The quest areas for this one are actually a bit shorter than normal, so that does make it a bit more bearable. So we've got another message from Ellie. This is it, the final field. I know you're doing well, but don't let your guard down. Some advice? Oh, don't worry about anything, it's basically the same as the others. I know you can do it, Taker. I'm rooting for you, good luck. So again, Ellie is very much on our side. telling us that it's just going to be the same as every other test. So again, we end with a room here that is just defeat all enemies. So very much standard fare for the VR test so far. So we get to this terminal here, again, another message from Ellie. Transmitting test record, enemies eradicated, area secured, both confirmed. Ellie speaking, I've confirmed your exam results, Taker. You've cleared this mission, that makes 3 now. Maybe you'll be able to make it all the way through our tests. We'll be disconnecting the VR link temporarily, so please head back now. So as usual, we'll go and report to Natasha. Yes, with your skills and intelligence, you should have no problems fighting any hostile creatures while gathering information and returning alive to report it. You've passed this test. Now, on to the next. Take what time you need in order to get ready. I'll be waiting, Hunter Taker. Not bad at all. You're a pretty good fighter after all. But then, you have experience fighting on Raggle already. This is what I don't understand about episode 2, so he confirms here that you have the experience of fighting on Raggle. So he knows that you've taken care of things in episode 1. But again, this kind of raises questions as to where this takes place in relation to episode 1. Maybe at this point you haven't gone to Falz, maybe you haven't investigated episode 1 fully. You could be doing both of these simultaneously, potentially. Even so, these scores aren't enough to satisfy our requirements. There are other things that we must observe from you as you proceed. So we'd like you to take some more tests. But this test is over. So please sign up, go to the counter and sign up for the next test. Thank you very much. So again, at this stage there really isn't much that we're learning. All we know is that the lab is still testing us, and they're clearly testing us on quite a few different parameters, not just our combat ability. They're wanting to assess our information gathering and various other things as well, to make sure that we're up to the task of this mission on Galderval Island. Now, at the moment, obviously we have just done Temple so far. It is very hard to, again, to cover lore elements at this point because we are just doing a VR test. And this will be the same for the next area as well. It'll only really be once we get to Central Control Area, which is like the first new area, so to speak, of episode 2. Once we get there, then the lore will open up a lot. So for the meantime, just stick with these government tests. We'll get through these, and then they'll explain what they actually want us to do on Raggle. But yeah, I'll end this one there. Again, a bit of a strange episode just because we are just going through VR tests at this point. But in the next episode, we'll hopefully finish up the temple tests and move on to the next area. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking, subscribing, or joining as a member. We do 2 videos a week normally, and we do 1 stream on a weekend. You can also follow me on X at Section Skyline. We do also have a Discord that you can join as well, so feel free to join over there. Yeah, hope you guys are enjoying the series so far, and see you guys in the next one.